This is your Monday daily delivery. Michael Rand here. Patrick Reusse back here as well. Patrick, turned out last week's show on Monday was the only last full one of the week, but I'm back off of the COVID IL. It was about a 7-day stint, maybe.
Wow.
Feels good. Feeling a lot better now. And happy to be back with you guys and with you, Patrick. We got a lot to get to. Twins, Patrick. We're going to start there, but I'll give you the rundown first. Twins. We got Jerry Kill. We got the Vikings. We got to wrap the Lynx season up. Maybe talk a little soccer too, because that was a good win for the Loons on Sunday night. But Patrick, Saturday. I don't know how you lose that game if you're the Twins, right? So you got everything to play for. You kind of coasting is the wrong word when it's 3-1, but you playing the Angels, who are not a good team and do not have a good offense. You got the bottom of their order up. You got your new closer you just traded for. You got 2 outs. You got a runner on first. You're up 3-1, and all of a sudden there's a disaster, a walk, a triple that's almost an inside the park home run, although it could have been a single if Nick Gordon played it differently. It's just so many different little flaws on display in that inning, and they end up losing 5-3 and lose again Sunday. Now 2.5 games behind Cleveland all of a sudden.
Well, that game Saturday, I contemplated this for a while, and yesterday I declared it the worst loss of the season because of these circumstances. A, you went 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position.
Unbelievable.
And B, you also, you had Lopez out there. You had a team that had scored 1 run in 17 innings, and that was on an Ohtani home run. And in the 8th inning of Duran, and you're facing the bottom of this terrible order. And all of a sudden, you got Max Stassi up there, and you're ahead of him 0-2, and you're afraid to throw him a strike. What the hell was going on there? That was unbelievable. Go get him with your 97-mile-an-hour sinker. Stop throwing changeups. Stop throwing the rest of it. The reason they got you is you throw 97 miles an hour and it sinks. Go after these guys. I don't know if that's Sanchez not ever getting shaken off. I don't know if that's the way they wanted it. They looked and said, hey, this Max Stassi, who can't hit anything, hits the fastball better than the breaking ball or something. I don't know if it's some game plan from 10 in the morning that when they hand out their sheets on everybody. But that was some of the stupidest pitch calling I have ever seen. You got these guys who can't wait to get out and get the game over with, and you end up screwing around, walking one of them, and then letting this stiff who hasn't had hit a home run in his career, this left-handed hitting guy, you throw him 2 breaking balls, he misses both of them by 5 feet, and then all of a sudden you're messing around and throwing him change-ups, and you get it behind in the count, or you get even let him get even in the count, give him a chance. It was brutal, and that was just an awful loss. And then they came back yesterday, and they're helpless against left-handed pitching right now. One reason being Polanco can't get a hit against a lefty, so he's terrible against lefties. When your whole left-handed lineup is based on having Kyle Garlick in the lineup, it's you got some issues, man. They're brutal against left-handed pitching, and the bottom of the lineup that they played yesterday. You got 4 guys who either should be on the bench or in the minor leagues. Okay. Sandy Leon. I'm all in on Sandy Leon because I got to blame Sanchez for some of the stupid pitch calling, but that's a bad lineup. Look at the lineup.
Oh, it's not good at all. No,
it's bad. And you got Polanco against a lefty. He can't hit. And Kepler's hopeless. He only had 1 at bat yesterday, or 2, right? He struck out twice.
I think so, yeah.
0 for 29. He was always bad against left-handed pitching, but now he's double that, and he's terrible against right-handed pitching too. But it's just not a good lineup. And the fact is, they're starting pitching, who's, all the stuff about the bullpen. I've been in more of a panic about the starting pitching. They didn't give up a run. They gave up, Archer gave up 2 runs, but the first 2 guys, they had 11 scoreless innings, and then and Archer had 3 more scoreless innings. So the starting pitching was good, short, but good. Once again, they hooked Bundy for no reason. But, it's, I don't know. It's a god awful lineup there. I've been saying forever that once that this they weren't going to get to the finish line. I thought the trades really helped them. My Molly has looked good and really looked really good the other night. But again, I guess it was a bad lineup. But you're now tied with the White Sox, who are way better than you are, and Cleveland's pitching is really good, and your pitching isn't really good. So I think it's a nice third place team that's going to finish about 500. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what
they're only 4 games over now.
3 games over, 58 and 55.
Yeah. It really. I was trying to do a comparable, and I guess I was thinking about the first turnaround year, 2001, except that team was way better when they were good.
They were like 30 games over 500 at one point that year.
They were 57 and 33 at one time, something like that. I mean, this team was never that good. But they've been an imposter. Let's see, they were 27 and 16. Was it this team?
I think that's right.
I think they're 31 and 39 or 31 and 40 since, and that's them. This is, it's not a good club. And we're now the fruits of being very inconsistent at the bat and just not having enough pitching have now come to the forefront here. And I knew they were in trouble, man, because Dick sounded like his dog had died at the end of the game last night. Dick's dauber was down at the end of yesterday's game. So
MGM Wine and Spirits is the choice for savings, service, and a great selection of spirits, pre-mixed cocktails, wines, and of course, ice-cold beers and hard seltzers. With over 30 locations throughout the Twin Cities and beyond, there's an MGM near you. Head to mgmwineandspirits.com to find a convenient location in your area. Get social. Follow MGM on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest news and trends. Make great moments with MGM Wine and Spirits, your locally owned and operated choice for over 50 years. Save time, save money. Shop MGM.
You figured they were going to lose to the Dodgers, and that's a bad sign in and of itself. I mean, the Dodgers are so good, but the Twins have just been getting, throttled by good teams all year. What do they know? 2 and 12 against first place teams now this season, and the run differential is about double. Yes. But then you get the Angels, and you win Friday, and you look like you're going to win Saturday, and then it's just one of those deflating, crushing losses. And like you said, that sequence to Stassi, where you got ahead 0-2 with a couple sliders, and then he started messing around, threw a couple balls, and then the 2-2 and the 3-2 pitch were changeups.
Yeah, the hell?
That's got to be his third. That's his third pitch, right? That's his third pitch.
You do a bad hitter a favor by throwing him a changeup. You'd never throw a changeup to a bad hitter, and the guy's 225 or something. He hits a home run once in a while, but how can you be afraid? How can you bring in this closer who's got great stuff and be afraid to go get Max Stassi? It's just fire Pete Mackey, for God's sakes. I've seen enough of him. It's the pitching strategies of this team are so stupid. They drive me crazy. I think Wes Johnson might have left because he couldn't stand the ideas that they were giving him as far as, he was behind a lot of them, but there's something going on here that he bailed out on him. And this is just awful to lose that game. It's really terrible, Mike, to lose a game that had no interest to a team that had no interest in winning it.
No,
they just wanted to get out for the night. They were just rolling along. And all of a sudden, okay, they get a blue pit, but they're still going to get beat. It's still easy to get 3 outs, and then they end up pitching like a bunch of morons to them. It's just, I don't know. They're, this is one. They were better for a long stretch than we thought they were going to be. Right when the years. But you got Correa. That changed everything. You thought you were going to be pretty good. Not pretty good, but competitive. But this has been one of the most frustrating Twins teams I have ever watched. Maybe it's just because I'm old and cranky. I don't know. But I hate this team. I hate them. And they've been in first place most of the year, but I hate them. I hate the way they use their pitching. I hate the way they pitch. I hate the way they never, they don't drive in runs. And I just don't like them. And then you're playing a left-handed pitcher yesterday. You can't hit any of them. And Urshel is sitting because you got to use Buxton as the DH. Well, figure something out. You got to have one of your, somebody's got to go play left field or something because you got to have him in the lineup. You can't have Jake Cave and the other left-handed hitters in the lineup. The Caves has to play because Kepler's so hopeless. But, how can you have one of your good right-handed hitters sitting when, sit Polanco against lefties? He's terrible against lefties. You send some kind of a message that, hey, we're not putting up with this anymore, that you're hitting the 190 or whatever the hell it is against left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
Play Rise at second, Miranda at first, and Urshela, and let Polanco sit down and think about life and how rotten he's been against left-handed pitching. So, yeah, they're just they got a week here at home, and people that talk about the schedule and blah blah blah. They're not. I mean, okay, they should be better than Detroit. Detroit's horrible and packing it in and giving it up, but they only got 3 left with them, right? The whole rest of the season, they're not better than anybody. They stink, So
anyway, they do right now, and they the lineup's not good, and the defense. And once you have all those outfield injuries, I mean, that was where they were extra exposed on Saturday. Was not only is the lineup take hits when you're missing, the guys you want to just put Kirilloff out, all the other guys that they've lost in the outfield in various places, but you got Gordon playing left in that 9th inning. Not obviously not a natural outfielder, a good athlete, but a more experienced left fielder probably doesn't go diving after that ball, probably plays it as a single and keeps that run at third.
I looked at the play. I don't know how quick he could have gotten to it, but yeah, you're right. Diving did him no good. That's for sure. And he was going to be a hero, but I'd rather see him in left field than shortstop. So we got that going for us. Yeah, it's a mess right now, and I think that I think their best days are about 2 months behind them. So anyway, that's I mean. It's kind of been an imposter for quite a while, and people are saying, I don't know how they stayed in the race. Well, I do. They were in the Central Division.
That division, yeah.
Right. The Orioles would be running away with this division. Running away. They would.
Yeah.
How about Kansas City beating the Dodgers finally, though?
How about that?
12 in a row. Then Brady Singer stuck it to them, but the AL Central against the Dodgers has not been a good matchup. The other night they come out, they get some runs, and you have on Wednesday, okay, yeah, they're not going to get to the finish line here. Never, they didn't. So I don't know. They've been a very frustrating team, and it's now come. All the flaws have come home to roost here, and we should mention that all the guys that got hurt in the outfield has really hurt them. and because they're playing guys that they don't want to be playing Jake Cave. They were very content with Jake over in St. Paul, and now he's back here playing and striking out. And but Kepler, man alive, he was a guy that when the season started, I thought they were going to try to move him, and he never really. I mean, he had maybe a good 2-3 week period at one point, but
he was better before he got hurt, but he still wasn't having a great year. He's had he's been a very he's had an interesting career. Like he's been okay. His career's been okay pretty much for the entirety of it, except for 2019 when he was quite good.
Yeah, the 2019 he joined in the fun and had a big year, and he's been a disappointment for sure. We all talk about Snow as the big flop, but considering what you thought they had in this guy at one point when he was a younger player, he's been a flop too. So, in my opinion.
Now, Patrick, I know you didn't watch any of the Vikings game on Sunday, but Twitter was very fired up about some things, Patrick. We're divided, though, on Kellen Mond because he threw 2 touchdowns. No Kirk Cousins in this game out in Vegas. Of course, he has COVID.
I don't think he would have played anyway. But
no, probably not. And people aren't as mad at him this time either, are they? Because it's like everybody's getting COVID now, and it was preseason, so it's it's not the end of the world, but. It did give them a chance to showcase Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond for better or for worse. And it seemed like Mond had the better of it. You got a guy like Cousins, who is clearly your number one and who's never gets hurt. The backup quarterback maybe is a less intense question than it might be other places, but they still seem to be fascinated by it. And interesting that Mond seemed to play better in this game, but I'm still curious if they wind up going and getting a different veteran backup at some point, just in case here.
I think, just from what I'm reading, I think they'll roll with this guy to start the season. Mannion will be out of here. They'll get somebody on the practice squad. That's probably bring back the great Kyle Slaughter.
Slaughterhouse.
We love Kyle Slaughter. Didn't he get released last week?
Yes.
A couple of days ago. But my guess is that Mond will be the backup. It's because one reason is Cousins doesn't get hurt. So, he misses a game once in a while. But I think they'll go with Mond as the number 2. Why would you want to bring in another Sean Mannion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you bring in a veteran backup quarterback, it's another Sean Mannion, the same guy, right? Just different name. So I think you go with him. And, Mond, from what I can tell reading and seeing things, that he played well enough to give you hope, which there was none last year because he didn't know if he was on foot or horseback. But apparently he actually made a couple of reads yesterday and made some throws. And he's an athlete. He's Joe Webb with a little more talent, I think, don't you? Because he can run out of the pocket, take off, be quite an athlete, and my guess would be that they'll keep Mannion around for the rest of the camp just in case somebody gets hurt, or bring in somebody else for the rest of the camp. But I guess it's not camp anymore because we're
into the preseason
games here, but. I would guess Mond's your guy. I mean, they saw enough. And guess what?
What?
He had teachable moments, according to Coach O'Connell.
Oh, we love teachable moments.
I just love teachable moments. That's it. That means you screwed up, okay?
Yes.
Isn't that a teachable moment?
Yes.
You screwed up. And a teachable moment would be Zim telling you, you screwed that one up. But with this guy, we got it. I am so sick of this whole new atmosphere. They love each other. Crap. I could puke. I listened to the Vikings broadcast for about 2 minutes in the third or fourth quarter. and the gushing about this new attitude made me Ralph. Jeez, what a bunch of fraud. Shut up. It's football. It's not supposed to be fun. Let's go. Come on. I mean, it drives me nuts. I mean, it's coaching. It's not having fun, having so much fun in the locker room and stuff like that. It's all just a bunch of fraudulent horsemen, or if you ask me. So
yes.
The endless repetitive nature of this is the whole new thing. Oh, we're lucky not to. Well, let's see. Let's play. They have pretty good talent.
Yeah.
There's pretty good talent here. If they win, it's going to be because they have pretty good talent and these guys know what they're doing, not because it's all kumbaya in the locker room. That's not going to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, or not going to be the primary thing anyway. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
We loved Ed Ingram yesterday too. The young offensive lineman. Looks like they might have found something with him too, which would be good for them if they could figure out the
right
interior.
Guard, is he going to become the right guard?
He could be. He could be. He feels like he should play at least because he was pretty good in that game. That's not. I know you're not running against some of the best players all the time in the preseason, but every time you looked at him, he was doing some good things.
Well, that's where were they playing them all over up and down the line, or
I think he was mostly on the right, but I'm not 100. I can't 100% remember, but he looked like he was doing some good things out there.
They need the established right guard, and then they need a new center. I'm rooting for Chris Reed at center, the Mankato State guy.
Now Reed didn't play yesterday.
Injured.
I didn't see why he sat, but he did not play in that game.
Okay, well that isn't good then. So,
but maybe they're resting him because he's got the job. I don't know. No, probably not.
They have a chance to have a good offensive line. I think this time. I mean, just certainly better than it's been. So, I mean, they with all the draft choices they've invested in the offensive line, it's time to have it improve. And if the offensive line is good, Cousins will be good. The Cousins' failures are all based on pressure, right?
A lot of them, yeah. A lot of them are, yeah.
And I mean, and that doesn't make him unique. Everybody can throw passes if they're not getting hit, so or not getting chased. So his failings are based on not having protection. So we'll see. We'll find out. So, but yeah, Patrick, so many guys didn't play yesterday that it would be hard to assess the defense, I guess.
Patrick, speaking of culture change, would it be surprising for you to know that Jerry Kill is still mad, still not gotten over everything that happened here? I think he talked to our pal Charlie Walters. I'm sure you'll catch up with him at some point too before that opener against the Gophers, but still sounds like he's not happy about the way things ended here. Well, it's just at some point, I just feel like I kind of want this story to go away, but it keeps coming back because I don't feel like it's doing anybody any favors.
Well, we keep calling him and asking him.
That's true too.
And he's, I saw Charlie's piece. He was more. He made it sound a lot more like he was upset how Clays was treated, and Clays was kind of the way he went. That Clays got fired. It's funny. Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, I was flipping channels and the Big Ten Network had the holiday poll on. The replay of them beating Washington State.
Oh, is that right?
Clays' last game. I texted Clays and said, your defense looked pretty good. But I don't know what he's doing. He's kind of semi-retired, going and visiting coaches and stuff. But I think Jerry's, he's willing to sit down there and not talk about it if we don't call and ask, but he's not going to, he's not calling up Charlie Walters and saying, this is what I want to tell you.
No.
Ask him a question, he answers it.
Sure.
He thinks the guy's whole spiel about culture change, and we had to, start from the ground up after a 9-4 team and all that crap. He took that personally, and of course it's a lingo that all the coaches use. I mean, Fleck's just a little more full of baloney than everybody else, but nobody comes into a situation. Here's the bottom line, though. no coach in my lifetime in the University of Minnesota, following Minnesota football, which it goes back to 1954, where I attended my first game, has inherited a better situation than Fleck did. Okay. Yeah. Nobody else inherited a 9-4 team.
No.
Glenn Mason inherited 4 years of 17-39 or whatever the hell
from Jim Wacker. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Smale and Holtz inherited Salem's, a team that gave up more points than any team in Big Ten history, including 84 in a game. Yep. And
Gill inherited Brewster's mess.
Gill inherited, and Mason's talent level was not very good that last year, 2006, but that's what Brewster inherited. So Brewster was close, I guess, to inheriting the same type of operation as Fleck was. But this was not a normal transition, at least in Gopher history, because you were 9-4 and you had a really good defense coming back, right? You had a lot of good defensive players coming back. And this idea that, they didn't fire Tracy Claeys because of his mishandling of the whatever the heck that thing was, because they suspended 10 originally and they only ended up suspending 4, right? Something like that. So right. The fact he had defended his players, they didn't like the vibe he gave off as a coach. Kaler and Coyle on the sideline of that game was one of the funniest things ever. They're out there playing their asses off, beating Washington State. They were over a 10-point underdogs. That was a really good Washington State team, and those two guys looked like they were at a funeral because they knew they'd already fired them. And so I Kill. I mean, I get along with Kill, and he's got demons, man, that he would come back and take this coaching job, that his desire to coach. And, he walked away here, and it was an emotional thing when he walked away. Yeah. I think he was just depressed because he was sick again and the way his team was playing. And I think he's regretted it ever since. I think he regretted walking away ever since. And even the doctors told him, I think he could have taken another leave of absence. He was still popular enough here that he could have taken another leave of absence. And I think he's obviously, what coach would not be saying what happened to himself if this is one of the 5 worst jobs in
New Mexico,
in FBS football. This is one of the 5 worst jobs in the country. So he's a little, wired up down there. And the Dunker story too.
Oh yeah.
They call up and ask him, hey, Jerry, I didn't realize it was going to be on the morning of the game.
Yes.
The night game. And they were going to have it, and it's not like he's making some big a public appearance at the 50-yard line. It's a bunch of guys who get together once every other week or something downtown. I was at the only Dunkers I've ever been to was they had a Sid event a few months ago. And so but it's, it's 80, 90 guys, 100 maybe sometimes. And Mona called him up and asked him if he'd do it. And he said, yeah, I guess I could. So he walked over there, and all of a sudden it became a big scandal that Jerry, that Justin Gard and some other people went nuts. Like, where else would this happen? Well, who knows where else it would happen. Holtz, when Holtz left, did he come back? And I went over and saw him speak to the Notre Dame Alumni Club in St. Paul about 2 months after he left. And we all gave it pub. I mean, this was the most overrated thing of it. Somehow having Jerry Kill, asking and getting Jerry Kill to talk to 100 guys on the morning of a game, you're going to win by 40 points was supposed to be somehow damaging the Gopher football program. That was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So anyway, that's my theory is if you call and ask him questions, I appreciate a guy who answers them honestly.
Yeah.
He does not like PJ Fleck.
No, he does not.
There's some personal reasons that go back to when he was at Northern Illinois too.
Oh,
so,
sure.
Yeah. So anyway, that I'm not going to get into, but he doesn't like Fleck. And you ask him about Fleck, and he in Charlie's piece Sunday, he didn't dive in like he had in the past, right? It wasn't
as bad.
He didn't really rip him. He
just said, "Well, not going to go to dinner with him," something like that.
No, yeah. I mean, that's right. Well, what do you want him to say? I'm going to go to dinner with him,
right? Right.
And what was interesting is he hasn't decided whether he's going to shake hands with him or not.
Yes,
but maybe Fleck hasn't decided whether. Maybe Fleck hasn't decided whether he's going to shake hands with Kill either. So
yeah,
probably be better off if we just don't worry about that, because it's going to be 52-7 for God's sake.
Yes, it should be.
What the heck? So,
Patrick, really quick, let's finish up with the Lynx. We should mention the Loons had a good win yesterday too in Nashville, but the bigger story Sunday being Lynx season ends, Sylvia Fowles' career ends. Lynx, by virtue of the bad WNBA this year and having rallied from their 3-13 start. Usually 3-13 is kind of a disqualifier for making the playoffs in a 36 game season, but they actually had gotten themselves in position where winning Friday or winning Sunday was going to put them in pretty good shape, but they lose by 27 at home Friday.
What was
I don't know. Sylvia Fowles' last home game, as it turns out.
30-10 at the quarter.
Yeah.
What is that?
Too much emotion. Must have been too much emotion.
That's what we're saying. We had too
I
much.
don't know. That's my letting them off the hook line. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you come out that flat in a game you've got to have with Fowles playing her final home game, and then you come around, you play a little bit better Sunday, but lose to Connecticut. You had to play two good teams, Connecticut and Seattle, in those last two, but end up missing the playoffs. 14-22 streak is over. 11 straight years of making the playoffs. That is over.
How about
you had your annual tweet?
Yes, I did have my annual tweet. The official standings are now in. Cheryl Reeves' playoff victories with Maya Moore, 40. Cheryl Reeves' playoff victories without Maya Moore, 1. I was really going to try to do LeBron in Cleveland, but I was too lazy to go do it yesterday. But it's like LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers playoff wins with LeBron and without LeBron. It's about the same, I would think. I don't know if they've ever won a game without LeBron.
Well, back in the day, they did.
Yeah, I guess they did way back a couple of times. Not too often, though.
No, but the Brad Doherty Cleveland Cavaliers were okay for a while.
But anyway, that's I get some of the people after I tweeted that out. Is she quit? Yeah, I think she's quit. Okay, she's we're not sitting around waiting for Maya to return anymore.
Oh no.
She's a mama. She's got other things on her mind. The ship has sailed, and she had other things in her life. So let's not bring that up anymore. But it was to come out and play like that. They did in their last two games. They got what they deserved for sure, I would say, and they just weren't good enough. The Angel McCoughtry era, as they call it.
Jeez.
They brought it. Did she ever play a game? She didn't, right?
I can't remember if she played one or not, but yeah, the moves they made at the beginning of the season really set them back. And that was, Cheryl Reeve is coach and GM, and the team that Cheryl Reeve gave herself this year didn't give themselves a chance at the beginning of the year. That's for sure.
Well, they didn't shoot. Bottom line, they didn't shoot well, right?
Yeah.
A lot of other problems, but turnovers, and they did not shoot well. And, it is amazing, though. They managed to get 12,000. I'm very fired up about Sylvia's next career, though. I want to do that story.
The mortician?
The mortician, because my father was we didn't call him morticians back then. He was an undertaker.
Right.
But I think I'm the guy to do that story on, because I lived upstairs. The bodies were downstairs. Okay, we're willing to go in and watch the procedure with Sylvia if she
yes.
She ends up in mortuary science school. I think I'm very excited. I'm very happy for her to see that Sylvia's now. The business has gone to hell because of all you frauds getting cremation, so we can't sell you a good casket anymore. Which was the secret to success. Was you always had the expensive caskets in the front, and then the not quite as expensive ones in the middle room, and then way in the back, if we had some cheap farmer wanted a cloth casket, we put that way in the back and hope they never got back there, because you had to get them to make an investment in the casket. But with cremation now, it's killing the business. But I'm glad to see Sylvia is going to be a mortician, and that's her dream, which is really fantastic. Apparently she was a pretty good person. I didn't ever deal with her, but
she was. Yeah, she was terrific. And
Uh,
Kent
so
Youngblood and I should be talking more about her on Tuesday's show, I believe, as well.
we certainly gave her a big send-off at the Star Tribune, that's for sure, though. We had about 3 different blowout pieces on Sylvia, so we gave her due, that is for sure. And the team was just not good, and that happens.
It does indeed. Well, speaking of good, better than not good, we had a good show, Patrick, but that'll do it for today. Good stuff coming up all this week, and we'll do this again next Monday, all right?
All right, stay healthy, buddy.
We'll do. Appreciate it.